And we are live. On tonight's episode of Traditional Homemaker Live Q&A, we are going to get into what life is like for traditional homemaker Khadijah of Her Healthy Home. Khadijah is married with two littles, and I am excited to find out what she has to share with us. But before we get into that, if we're just meeting, I'm Denise Jordan, and I am your host, and I teach traditional homemaking for today's homemaker. So if you want to learn more about making and keeping a home, then hit that subscribe button and double tap the little bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Tonight's episode of Traditional Homemaker Live Q&A is brought to us by Apron Diva. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. So here is our sponsor, Apron Diva. And tonight's featured product is the sweet pea. That's this one. And it is pretty in pink and green and white. And it'll be the perfect apron to help you just feel like you're filled with summer and sunshine all season long. Okay, so let's get into it. We are continuing our guest segments by welcoming people to this platform who have something to share in the homemaking and homekeeping arena. And tonight's guest is Khadijah from Her Healthy Home. And I think you will get a lot from what she has to share. So let's give her a warm welcome. Hello, Khadijah, TNT. Let's give her a warm welcome. It's so
Thank
good to
you,
have you here.
Thank you, and thank you for having me back because I also was on here before with Darcy. So I'm so glad to come back.
Well, when I had you and Darcy on, we were talking about, well, Darcy and I have been talking about getting into, well, the Swedish death cleaning and trying to become more minimalist because we had so
Mhm.
much stuff. But then you also had something to add in the decluttering and homekeeping space. So we had you were on then for that. But this time, we want to hear all about you and your homemaking and homekeeping journey.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely ready for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited and nervous, but yeah, thank you
Oh,
for
don't be
having
nervous now. Don't be nervous.
me. I'm flattered.
You already know how it goes, Khadijah. You've been
Yeah.
around for a while, so you know how it goes. You know how I do. So it's not going to be anything you don't already know. And if you're uncomfortable answering any questions, all you have to say is, let's just go on to the next one. So, but I don't think I have anything that should make you uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
So before we get started, let's do a quick greeting. We've got some people
Okay.
on that want to say hi. So let me do that and then we'll get things going. So Christy McCullough jumped on earlier and said she hopes nothing comes up because she wants to be here when both of us go live. So I hope Christy is able to jump on and join us. And then Nefertiri at Matriarchs Matters says she can't wait. And Nefertiri is
Hey,
one
Siri.
of our ardent supporters. So she's
Yeah.
looking forward to hearing you chat. And then Tammy at Take Me to Tammy's House is on, and she's greeting us as well. And then Blue Skies is on tonight, as well as Leanne is also saying hello. And let's see, Nefertarius, well, I think I already got that one. Concerned Parent, and I believe her name is Beverly, is on with
Hi,
us
Beverly.
as well. And Patricia is saying hello.
Hi, Patricia.
And look at here, Mickey Blues Guys is saying, hey, yay, Khadijah. Notice she spelled your name right.
No, no. My name is
Right
difficult.
there.
No, is that
Oh
right?
no, she didn't spell it right. She didn't spell it right. No, she didn't spell it right either. But I finally got it right. The funny thing is that I was making a point to spell it the way that I was spelling it because I thought, oh nope, it's not right without the I in there. So I would go back and correct it to the way I was doing it. So hopefully, I'll be anyway. So Touche Alton is here as well,
I should say.
and Blue Sky says she's going to start trying to get rid of things she doesn't use. I tell you what, I just feel so much better that my some of my home is getting cleared out. I was talking to my husband today and I said, honey, just kind of look around. There's more and more areas of clear space. He
Yeah.
said, yeah, I see it. Like, okay, but I want to see it, keep it coming.
Hi, Mary.
And look at here, Christy
You
McCollum made
made it.
it. So, hey, Christy, I'm glad you were able to join us. So, yes, I'm glad you were able to join us. Well, okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. And if I forget to ask something that you think I just ought to ask, just go ahead and jump right in with that, first of all. So, first of all, tell us, how did you two meet and how long have you been married? I've been wanting to know that. I'm nosy like that.
Yes. So I did get I'm married very young. I got married at 20. So I'm now 28. So we were married for 8 years.
Okay.
We didn't really have like a romantic story about getting together. We were just friends. And then, we started having feelings for each other. And finally, one day, he finally said something about it.
Okay.
I do think it's sweet. He said, he wasn't sure because we were really good friends and he didn't want to lose the friendship if something happens. So that's kind of why he said he was holding out from saying something to me. But other than that, that's it. It's nothing fancy.
That is so funny. Now, you say you got married young, and I suppose in this decade, getting married at
Mhm.
20 was young. But I was 20 when I got married as well. But
Yeah,
I
you
was
did
talking
20.
to Mickey Blue Skies about that, and that when I got married, most girls, they got out of high school and they got married. I went to college, so I didn't get married quite as soon as some of the other girls in my high school class. But I was still 20, and I was about to turn 21 when we got married, and my husband was 23 at the time, so we were young too. But that wasn't necessarily young for then.
Right.
And
Yeah.
in my parents' generation, girls got married even earlier. But today we try to encourage people to put that off just a little bit. And I
Yeah.
forgot to mention that our friend Mary Cleveland has joined us as well. Mary is one of our seasoned homemakers.
Yeah.
And
Thank
somebody
you,
else,
Mary.
oh, Broke Farmer. Hey, the
You're welcome,
gardening
Barbara.
community is jumping on. Hey, Broke, it's good to
Thank
have
you for joining us.
you. Yeah.
You have someone else. I see Thelma underneath.
Let's see.
I'm jumping ahead.
Um, Christy's here. Michelle at My Everyday Wife Life.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see you. Hey, Michelle.
Here. And then Thelma at Simple Southern Reflections is here. So Michelle said she was 21 when she got married, and hubby was
Okay.
22. So see, Michelle and I are close to the same age. I'm a bit older than she is, but we're close. So yeah, but yeah, so okay, all
Yeah.
right. So now, if I'm correct, you were also a oh wait, Tammy says she was 17.
17. Wow.
Right. My mom was 16 when she got married. So hey,
Really?
I get it. Okay, so tell us about being a military wife. If I'm not correct, the two of you were a military family, correct?
Yes, we were. Yeah, we were on Fort Leonard Wood. It's called Fort Lost in the Woods, and it's like a training base. It's pretty big, and I really did actually like living on base and everything like that. Um, but the hardest part was knowing that you couldn't really plant your roots anywhere because you were liable to, move at any time. You never know when he's going to have to go training. He's going to have to go to trying to remember where he went. Romania. He's supposed to go there a week and it ends up being a month. You just never know, and you have to really be go with the flow. And
Mhm.
so, especially when we were starting our family. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I didn't know if he was going to be there to even be for Melanie's birth.
Mhm.
And so that's just the hardest part. But absence really makes the heart fonder. We have all of our pile of letters and stuff, and so you really, I guess, you get intimate in a different way. So it really can strengthen the relationship, but it can also really put a strain on it because you have to do everything by yourself,
Mhm.
and you have to be strong and take care of everything when he's not there.
Yeah, I tell you, I gotta. Now, you're going to laugh at this, but I got a little bit better feel for what the military families go through by watching the TV series,
Army one? The who?
The Unit.
Oh, I've never heard of that
Well,
one.
it's really good. It was on for 4 seasons, and it's about a special forces unit, and they live on a base. And so you see their families, and you see a lot of the women in the story and what their lives are like on the base and the
Mhm.
hierarchy and all that kind of thing. And then you see the men being called off often to go when they're deployed for whatever they're going away for. So I got just an inkling of what it might be like. I realized that, of course, it was a TV show and a lot of it was fictional, but I anticipate that some of them, the long absences, the quick absences, and the struggles with the children and other things can be real. Now, your kids are little, correct? Tell us about
Mhm.
those two little cutie pies that I did not get to meet.
I was gonna say the show Army Wives. I watched that when he was in basic, and that helped me. That's when he was doing his first training before he started. Before we even moved, I was
Mhm.
able to move, and that helped me. So the shows they really do show a little bit of the life. But yes, my children are 2 and 3. Melody, she was born on the base. Um, in Fort Leonard Wood, and then Samuel is my son. He's 2.
Okay, so Melanie was born on base, and was Samuel born on base as well?
No, he was actually born here. Once my husband separated, we moved to Tennessee.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. So we've got people saying thank you for your service, and it is such
Okay.
a sacrifice. And I know First Lady Michelle Obama, when she was First Lady, one of the big issues with her was military families. And right now with First Lady Joe Biden, I believe military families is still a focus. So we do understand it is a sacrifice, and we appreciate that. Mickey Blue Sky says she thinks it's sweet. And Michelle says her husband was in the service for 6 years, 4 years at Fort Benning, and then he went to Egypt 4 years. So Michelle understands your story as well. And Michelle is going to be on the show too in a few weeks.
Okay.
We'll have her talk about her life. And then, hey, Debbie. And
Hey, Debbie, I saw you earlier.
look at here.
You know,
New Orleans Gardner has jumped on with us tonight. Linda, it is so nice to have you here. It's always a blessing when she jumps in. I had my husband out picking
yeah.
my grape tomatoes tonight. And then Blue Sky says one of her best girlfriends was married to a military man, and they typically literally moved all over the place before he finally separated. So, yes, but several people are saying thank you for the service of you and your family, for the sacrifice, I should say. So,
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah. And family does really help and support too. I remember when my husband was staying longer, I went with my mom during my pregnancy. So she was able to help me out because you can get lonely. And there are groups of things for women, but when you're new, you may not have the personality just to go out and be personable. And so it is good to have family to lean on.
okay. All right. So now let me ask you. So when you guys got married,
Hmm.
were you always a stay-at-home wife, or did you work outside the home first until the babies came? So how did that work?
Yes, I did work outside the home part of the time, but then afterwards I started making like do-it-yourself products, and so I started selling those, and
Mhm.
then I would also sell those on base too, in their little mini mall. And so then when the kids came, I kind of took a break from all of that stuff. It just really was focusing more on the kids.
Okay. All right. So now let me ask you this question. And I didn't warn you ahead of time that this was going to be one of the questions that I was going to ask you, but
Okay.
it's something that I think a lot of women wonder about in regards to stay-at-home moms. And
Right.
it's this one that so many stay-at-home moms get flack from friends and family for being at home. They're like, well, why don't you go out and get a job? You can be more help that way. So, has that ever been an issue for you? And if so, how did you handle it?
Yeah, definitely because I was a stay-at-home wife for some time too. And yeah, and people would say different things, but you just let them know that this is the arrangement me and my husband have,
Mhm.
And so as long as he's okay with it, as long as our finances are, where
Mhm.
they need to be, then, that's this is the best job for me is the house. And that's what I would just say.
And then it was just so nice and kind. I mean, that's a nice, kind way to say it. Not like, look, you ain't putting no food on my table, so we make. I might have been more snappy at that time. Now I'm much more discreet now,
Yeah. Hmm.
but I can see where at an earlier day I might have made kind of a snippy remark. But your remark was probably the best one because it let them know that number one, you're being nosy, but number two, we've thought about what our situation is and we've made the best decision for our family. So, okay.
Yeah. I pretty much, that to expect. Sometimes people won't understand, even about homeschooling and stuff. Oh, I already knew. So I had some preparing beforehand.
Okay. So, Khadijah,
Uh-huh.
Michelle is sending a note, but your husband is not in the service anymore. He
Right.
is
Hmm.
separated from the service now,
Right.
right? He's not in
Right.
the service anymore.
Hmm.
And then Nefertiri says she feels so sad when women criticize stay-at-home moms. And I have to agree. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. And when
Right.
I say we, I mean we as women, that we criticize our sisters rather than being as supportive as we can be. But I do believe that it's starting to change somewhat.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But people just, they may not understand. And even sometimes times have changed. And so even sometimes it's the older people that say, you don't have to do that anymore, or, it's not in my day, or they say, you have a lot more freedom now, so you should
Mhm.
do other things. But yeah, you get pushback from all different types of people that you wouldn't even expect it. But yeah, if it's what you want to do, then you just have to, defend it, and they don't have to understand.
That is so true. And when you say you get it from older people, some of that comes coming from my generation because, we grew up, we moved through that women's lib generation. And I know so many people think that women's lib and being a feminist and all that is very negative and all of that. But having grown up during the time when women didn't get equal pay, women didn't have equal rights, women couldn't get their own credit card, they had to get one in their husband's name, and you couldn't buy a car unless your husband co-signed for it. I was like, look, I was definitely all for women's lib, and being a feminist because I grew up through the time when, like I said, when I couldn't do things unless my husband co-signed or said it was okay. And I remember one day when I was going to buy something, I don't know what it was, and the guy said, well, your husband's going to need to co-sign. I said, but then I don't want it. I said, I work every day just like he does. So if
Right.
I need his signature, you can keep it. You can hear I'm getting a little snippy now just thinking about it. But those are the kind of things that women my age went through.
Right.
And I remember there's some of them like, and I'm not, well, I'm not, I was gonna say I'm not that old, but I did just have a birthday. But regardless, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was difficult. And now, yeah, it was difficult. And so Linda says, yes, there is a change in the air. And so Linda is close to me. She's not quite there yet, but she's close to me. So she gets it. She
She
gets
said, "Stay out of my business." That's another comment she put.
well, okay. Okay. So here's a Yah Warrior saying, a
Oh,
stay-at-home mom here in the South for 8 years. She's got girls 4, 5, 7, and 8. Four little princesses. How nice. When I was little, I said, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to have four little girls. Well, I didn't. But I thought that would be a nice little family to have four little girls. But she's always gotten flack and still do, mostly from family members. And, isn't that odd? And the
yeah.
other thing I think is odd is that when we look here at this term, SAHM, stay at home mom, that we
Right.
actually have a label. That's
Right.
I just
Right.
think, but anyway, as your warrior says, and your warrior, what is your name? We like to call each other by names here. So let us know what your name is. I'll try to remember it. But yes, But yes, you do have to stay firm in your position.
Oh, but thank you for joining over here. I was just talking to you too about the garden. She's so kind.
So who are
These
you just
comments
talking
are so
to?
small for me. What'd you say?
Who are you just talking to?
Yeah, warriors.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
All right. So
Can't keep up with them.
yeah, it's kind of hard. So Michelle said she wished she could have been a stay-at-home mom. She wasn't able to stay home until her son was 12. And then TT said she had a one little girl and she was done. And I wanted to have four. I only had one. And Linda is smiling. And let's see. So Mickey Blue Skies always gets after me when I say I'm a feminist. She says she's not a feminist, but she's pro-woman, but definitely not a feminist. And so, I see a feminist as being pro-woman. That's my definition of a feminist, is being pro-woman. There's probably some other little caveats that go along in there, but I see it as being pro-woman. She always gets after me about saying that. So, okay, so there's that. All right, so now let's just see. So what is life like at home with two littles?
Chaotic. It's busy. You never know what you're gonna get or what to expect.
Hmm.
But most of the times, it is really enjoyable and fun because they're just so funny. The way their mannerisms, the things that they say. So I'm just really enjoying it, and I try to take it slow as much as I can. Um, and just from teaching them and everything, you get to it's rewarding to see how much they learn, and how much they even surprise you with how much they know.
Okay, I like that idea. And so, is it always days of endless sunshine, days in the
Oh
sun?
no, no,
That it's just always rainbows and puppies and all that good stuff?
no. If
Really?
that's what you expect, what happened?
I said, really? It's not like
Oh,
that?
oh no, definitely not. There are days. My husband was off today, and so I said I needed to go just somewhere, anywhere, and get a break. You definitely need those times to breathe, be by yourself. I
Mhm.
like to have some quiet time for me because it definitely will drive you insane, depending on how much help that you have. How many things you have going on. It definitely always keeps you busy. I'm the first one up, last one to go to sleep all the time.
What do
So
you
it's
do for your quiet
definitely
time for you? What do you do?
the few times I just try to go out somewhere, get some fresh air, even if I'm not, buying anything or anything, just going out or looking. Just I went today, got some essential oils or whatever, and that's me time. Just even putting on a face mask or something and watching a movie. Don't have to worry about can the kids see it or anything like that. Just those little things. It doesn't have to be anything big. I'll take what I can get at this point. Really, painting my nails,
All right.
toenails.
Let's talk about meal times. Because,
Okay.
with littles, that's always a big deal.
Hmm.
So, do you have any problems getting them to eat?
No, I getting them to stop eating. They eat so much. It's just worrying about what to make every day. They eat everything. They eat. They love things from the garden. They love fresh. They love fruits. So they like to eat
Wait,
healthy.
back up. What was that again?
They love vegetables and fruits, things from the garden.
Okay, so they love fruit and vegetables. They love fresh.
Yes, it's
How
good.
do you get them to eat that?
That's just always what I cook. I mean, that's what I ate when they were in my belly. And then that's just what I eat, and we just all eat. And you don't want to be hungry, you gotta eat something. And they help me in the garden, and it excites them to eat the food from the garden.
Okay, so now I think you said something that's very important there, and I want to make sure that everyone heard that, because there's some grandparents that are on that maybe had some struggles with their children eating, and now they're grandparents and they want to try to encourage their grandchildren to eat more. So
Hmm.
when you said they eat what you eat, I
Right,
think that's huge. And then they helped you in the garden. And
right,
so them helping in the garden, maybe picking a strawberry or picking a pepper or helping to pick some whatever, it gives them the knowledge that, from garden to
right,
table, they watch you bring
right.
it in and cook it and all of that. So it makes them want to try to eat it because they participated in bringing that food to the table.
Right. Like you said, participated. Yeah, they had their hand in it, and so they want to enjoy it. even if they don't know what it is. When I grew squash, I was like so excited. Can we eat some squash? Wouldn't leave me alone about eating it. So yeah, they definitely just want to eat what they see grow and what they grow.
Okay. So
Hmm.
that's really nice. I'll tell you a quick story about squash though. My kids, hey, didn't like squash, but we would have it. And I used to cook you can buy the yellow squash puree
Hmm.
frozen. So I
Hmm.
would buy that and I would cook it and I would add some like brown sugar and butter and, make it kind of sweet, like a mashed sweet potato. And I called
Hmm.
it Orange Delight. And we would have Orange Delight as a side dish every now and then. And my nephew, Jamal, who is a manager at a couple restaurants in Georgia to this day cannot stand Orange Delight. And if they say, "What's the first thing you think about when you think about Aunt Nisi?" And he'll say, "Orange Delight." He hates it. It was just pure squash. And I would
That
try
is
to
so
gas it up
funny.
so they eat it.
That is so funny. That's one of the first things that I gave my kids too when they were first, trying some solid foods. It was a squash too.
Okay. All right. Let's just see. Um, I wanted to put Tammy's note up when she says enjoy this time because
Oh
they
yes,
grow up so fast. And they do. Like today, we're talking about Samuel and Melanie and their 3 and 2. 20 years from now, you're gonna say, I was just talking to Miss Denise about and like here they are, about to start college. Where did the time go? It'll
right.
be like that. So yes, enjoy the time while they're little because it goes so quickly. I'm not coming back to Blue Sky's comment about my feminist and pro women. She's putting another note up there, but I'm going to ignore it. So
Yeah.
I think concerned parent is Beverly, and she said there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. It's really hard work, and it is. And she works outside the home, but had to work from home due to the pandemic with her home. So much respect to stay-at-home moms. Yes, it is not easy, and like you said, you do need some breaks and time away.
Right.
So
Yeah,
hey,
I think about. Oh, go ahead.
look at there, V hasn't joined us in forever. So you bringing out everybody.
Oh, great. But you know what? I think about when I was working. I used to work like data entry, and things like that. And sometimes I think I want to go back to that because I could just sit and be quiet. I do my work. I get my breaks. I have my car ride home. I can think about whatever. I have. But I don't know when my break is gonna come. I don't know if I'm gonna get a break. People might decide they don't want to take naps. I don't know if people are gonna have, be irritable today and have attitudes or not. And so, you never
No.
know. Right. You never know what to expect. Some days it just goes easy. And then it gets hard when you have, two different kids and you're trying to do different things. Like you're trying to teach one thing and try to teach one the other. So yeah, it can get really difficult. You never know what to expect. It'll keep you on your toes, definitely. I think it's a lot more exercise. That's a good thing.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Okay. All right. So Christy says her grandson loves being in the garden with her. And then Rachel Knight has just joined us. Hey, Rachel. And Rachel's a military family too, because her husband is deployed now. She's in Hawaii, but her husband is currently deployed. He's in the Navy, I believe.
I remember that.
And then
All three.
Linda says that her grands love veggies and her 2 children. And she talks about her kids and her family and how she shares her love of veggies with them on her channel. So that's good.
Yeah, and that's really
Um,
important. Yeah.
enjoy them before they're gone, says Patricia. And Vamsy is on with us as well. She's got a new house. And
Oh, congrats.
Michelle said she was lucky to have her son with her at work, though he was little. She was a preschool teacher at a daycare. So yeah, that definitely was a big help right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you can bring your kid to work with you, that's helpful.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So it's good to know that meal times weren't difficult at all.
Mhm.
Do you have a mealtime? What's your mealtime routine? Like I believe your husband works second shift, right?
Well, he works. It really changes.
Just
So,
change.
like this week, he's actually working closing for his department. So he's actually doing 2 to 11 for 4 days this week.
Hmm.
And so it's rougher when he has like those kind of schedules. Some other times he has earlier in the day. So it just really changes,
Hmm.
and it's really understaffed right now.
So how do
Uh,
you handle meals?
what would you say?
How do you handle meals?
Oh, how do I handle meals? Okay, so well, that's the first thing I start on. Like after I get some laundry in going, and then I do the food. So I start it really early, and then I do our lunches, and then I do a big dinner, enough that it's going to be his lunch for the next day.
Hmm.
And then we have snacks and stuff all through the day because the kids are always hungry. They're always wanting something more. But yeah, I pretty much have the same things that I go to. So it just makes it easier. And then on Fridays, I have to make extra because on Saturdays we have rest day. So I don't do any cooking or anything. And so that's another thing to prepare for.
Oh, wow. I like that idea. So instead of Sunday being your rest day, Saturday's your rest day.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can start dinner like early in the day then. Since his schedule rotates, you have to start dinner earlier. Like I was watching Inspired by Nikki, one of her videos, and she was starting dinner that morning, like around 10. She was going to put it in the crock pot so she could like have it
Yeah.
ready, like when her husband got home. So do you start dinner like around 9 or 10 sometimes if he has got an early
I
shift?
definitely do. It depends on what it is. Like if I had to thaw some meat out, like corned beef or something, then yeah, I definitely start that first thing in the morning, and I'll get the vegetables in there. And I usually prep a lot of things like potatoes. If I have to cut them, I do it in the morning because I might not be able to do it in the afternoon. So if I have to cook dinner at 3 or something, it's something that's going to be quick.
What time do the kids get up?
Usually, I try to put them to a nap around 12 or 1. It depends if they woke up a little later, if we were outside in the garden longer.
Mhm.
But that's about what we try to do. And then I usually try to cook it during when they're napping.
Okay, okay. There's a note from Rachel here, and I think it's an important one. Um, well, let me give Nefertiti's note first. She said she went back to work in March, and her last day is Wednesday, and then she likes being a full-time mom at home and working outside the home, I guess was a bit difficult. She says for the strongest of the strong. I believe Nefertiti has several children. So when you've got several kids, it's bad enough working outside the home if you just have one or two because you've got a lot to do. But if you've got several kids, it just doubles the amount of work that you have and you just feel more stretched. So
Hmm.
I'm glad that you're able to go back home. But Rachel says that he just got home and he's in
Oh,
the
that's
Navy.
great.
He just got home. They sent him home early and she says that she prays we never have to watch the smell of submarine out of anything. She doesn't look forward to it. Now, boom, I love laundry. I'm like, oh, what's the smell?
That's a
What kind of detergent might we want to
right. A new video.
Yes,
A new video idea.
yes. I'm gonna have to find out who's got some submarine clothes. I'm like, yes, I like that idea. But okay. So I'm glad he's home and God's grace and blessings upon you.
Yes, I'm glad he's safe.
So you enjoy him because, like you said, you don't know when he might get another deployment. But right now, enjoy him.
Right.
Okay. And then as far as mealtime, Michelle says if you garden and cook with your kids, they'll eat more variety of things and be open to trying different foods. When you're open and share different things with them, they're more open. But if all you serve is, chicken McNuggets and French fries and stuff like that, then that's all they want to eat. So it's
Right.
up to you to kind of, and I will say, I'm trying to make that pretty simplistic, but I will say that sometimes picky eaters can be an issue with the texture,
Right.
not
Yeah.
necessarily taste, but texture. And sometimes kids just have to adjust to new textures, so they have to be offered it several times before they can really say, "Well, I don't like it," that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I think definitely keep trying to with the seasonings or something like that, or how you put it in the dish. A
Oh,
super
yes,
chat.
I've got a super chat. I've never had a super chat before, ever. So thank you, Blue Skies. I'll take it. Okay, let's see.
But I think with eating from the garden, it's also good because they're eating things raw too, so they're really getting used to different flavors. And like you said, the textures, I think that helps too. My kids, they would, if I would only get a little bit of broccoli side shoots or whatever, the little broccoli, they would love that raw, and they would be fighting. That my kids often fight and try to eat everything, even when things aren't right. You would think that kids wouldn't really care for things like that, but they really do.
Well, you've exposed them to that though, so that's good in that regard. Okay. Um,
And definitely do smoothies. Sneak some vegetables in there. That's something like kids usually look forward to. Or if you make popsicles like during right now, throw a little bit of spinach or something in there, and they wouldn't even know.
oh, in a popsicle. And I wouldn't have thought of
Yeah,
that. I do throw them in smoothies, but I hadn't thought
right.
about that in a popsicle. Okay, that's a good idea.
Hmm.
All right. And then is your husband pretty much just eat whatever you cook?
Yeah. He's he doesn't love a lot of vegetables, but it's at the point where we have to have variety. And so sometimes he'll have to eat it. If it's once a month, just grin and bear it. Be a good example for the kids. So
Okay, I
he'll
got it.
have to. But yeah, he's a picky. He's more picky.
And that's the thing with the adults. Sometimes when you get them into your life, they already have their eating habits
Right.
much determined. And so then you have to try to encourage them to stretch out, to explore new flavors and stuff like that. So my husband eats a lot more things now than he did when we first got married.
Hmm.
But it was a struggle because our families were very different. So the kind of things my family ate at home was very different from some of the things that his family ate. So it was
Hmm.
really a challenge. And so, of course, I
Yeah.
had to offer a lot of stuff to the kids. But my oldest son didn't like anything green. So anything green was a pickle. So green peppers, peas, green beans, whatever. He didn't like pickles. And if he could see it, if he could feel it, if it floated in any kind of dish, it was a pickle and he didn't like it. So I would put the vegetables, like if I was making a meatloaf, I would put the onions, the green peppers and things like that in the food processor and puree it and then put it in the meatloaf so that he couldn't feel that texture. Otherwise he wouldn't eat it. But
Yeah, my husband is, well, I'm a person, there's no fruit or vegetable that I don't like. And then my husband, he couldn't pick 7 vegetables that he likes. I thought one a day, just give me 7 things. And he couldn't. And one of them would be carrots, but he said he prefers that they're not cooked. And I'm not just going to throw carrots on your plate every day as your vegetable. But yeah, he's had to eat, some more things. And, but there's things I won't make for him that I know he really doesn't like.
okay.
But yeah, I do make him eat a little something something sometimes.
Yeah, like the kids didn't like peas, and so I just won't cook peas. Like the kids didn't like peas, and my husband didn't particularly care for peas, so I just didn't cook peas. And they
Right.
didn't like potato salad, so I didn't make potato salad. The only time I could get that was when it was a big family dinner somewhere, and my sister Lavina would make potato salad, so I would get it then. But
Hmm.
okay, let's see. Your warrior said that she and we never got your name, your warrior. Tell us your name. But
Hmm.
I don't know if it's he or she, but started out hiding veggies in the kids' food by making green smoothies.
Green
Using
smoothies,
veggie
veggie
pasta.
pasta.
I like the veggie pasta idea too. I make the green smoothies all the time.
You know what I made? I made a lasagna, and the lasagna noodles was actually zucchini yesterday, and I had hearts of palm. And if you cut them up, you can kind of get different textures. And my
Mhm.
son was really eating up the hearts of palm. I know he doesn't know what it is or whatever. He just knows that it was good. Sometimes kids, they just maybe have to have it with sauce. I know a lot of people put cheese, but maybe different, like a ranch dressing or something,
Mhm.
as long as they can get the vegetable in. I think it's doable. Or like she said, hiding it, but usually you can't hide that much that where it's a full serving.
Okay. Okay. And it looks like I got another super chat here from Ladybug7. She had a son who didn't care for veggies as a little, and she tried pureed vegetables in spaghetti sauce or pureed cauliflower in mac and cheese.
Wow.
Great idea. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. My second
Hmm.
super chat ever. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's another thing. I dehydrated some zucchini and I just ground it up into a powder, and you can put it in, I guess, like that. I guess that would be like adding a green like powder to
You
your food.
could put that green powder in a smoothie, or you could just drop the
Hmm.
zucchini in the smoothie too. That's a good idea, though. I like that idea. I made a chicken stir fry today. It was one of those like Schwan foods. Do you guys have like where the Schwan truck comes around and they have all different kinds of frozen entrees you could purchase?
No, is it swine as in like SWINE?
No, it's Swan,
Oh,
Schwan.
swans.
Swan.
Okay.
Well, they have this stir fried sweet and sour chicken. So I made that for dinner tonight. But I cut up about, maybe a fourth of a zucchini and chopped that up and threw that in with the vegetables because it was all kind of veggies in there.
Hmm.
And my husband ate it. He didn't even notice. And I waited until the other vegetables were almost done so that the zucchini wasn't like real mushy. It was delicious. So
Right.
that.
That's what I actually grate in zucchini. That's kind of like how I prefer it. If you add it into a spaghetti, it's like really good. I think it makes it better when you just grate it in. But you can do that with carrots, and I felt like that tasted really
Oh
good too.
yeah, I
Hmm.
like to do that with carrots in to saute them a little bit and then put them in the sauce. So I've got like a vegetarian spaghetti.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Christy says her least favorite vegetable are
Hmm.
beets, and that's mine too.
Yeah,
Don't eat beets.
but
Now my dad
I
loves.
really like. Do you like pickled beets? Have you ever tried pickled beets?
We've had beets any kind of way you can have them. My dad loved beets, and so my mom would make
Oh.
them for him. But
There are. I remember seeing a recipe. I think it was brownies made with beets, and I'm sure it tastes really good. It was from, I think, Sweet Potato Soul. I think her name is. She's a really good cook, so I'm sure it tasted really good. It looks better than any brownies. So definitely try it. I like to hide things like that.
okay,
Hmm.
I'm gonna write that down. Brownie beets.
Yeah, just add it when you just add in little grates of anything and anything. You won't taste it.
Well, if you think about it, beets really are pretty a naturally sweet kind of vegetable when you
Mhm.
have them raw. So I bet you Linda from New Orleans Gardener got all kind of
Some
recipes.
good recipes, right?
Yeah. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Rachel says her husband will eat most vegetables, but as long as they're not soggy. So she makes a lot of steamed, baked, or crispy. I get that.
Mhm.
Oh, so your warrior is Michelle. So we got another Michelle on. Your warrior is Michelle. I'm writing it down so that I can, it kind of helps me remember. Sometimes I still don't, but we're trying to get there. Oh, so Christy says they've got Swan. She gets their ice cream. I like their ice cream sandwiches. Um, oh, sweet
Yeah,
potato souls. So, okay, Blue Skies is familiar with her.
you missed it. You skipped a comment.
I'm coming back to it.
Okay, yeah.
Michelle at your warriors. Michelle, do you
Hmm.
use the spaghetti?
Yes, I actually have it, and that's where I experimented using like the carrot is really good. Of course, the squash is good. Yellow squash or zucchini.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really do like it. But now I just mostly grate things too. Um, but yeah, I do
Okay.
like it. We just don't eat spaghetti, I guess, that much.
Oh, okay. I would think that would be something that the kids would enjoy, but
Hmm. Yeah, but I guess I just don't try to make actually like spaghetti kind of things with like noodle kind of base. But yeah, I do add them into things.
okay, all right. Um, Mary says she doesn't like beets or lima beans. I didn't care much for lima beans either, Mary. I
Yeah,
will
I
eat.
get it.
You like them?
Yeah, I don't mind them. Yeah, I eat them.
Okay. So now Amy Schmeltzer. Amy, I think you're new here. I don't think she's joined us before. So welcome,
Bread
Amy.
with beads.
Yeah, ladies, welcome Amy. But she grated beets in a quick bread.
Mm.
Her co-workers either loved it or hated it. It was very divisive. A quick bread that's divisive? Girl, we got enough other stuff to find folks these days without quick bread. But
Right.
tell us about that, though. Like I said, beets do have kind of a natural sweetness to it. So,
Yeah, I bet she says, either you love or you hate it. People are not in the middle when it comes to beets. But golden beets have less of that earthy flavor, which is what people don't like. So you maybe need to try the yellowish beets.
I'm writing that down. We'll
Because
see.
they're so good. They're so good for you.
Okay.
But do you like the
Um,
big greens? Do you like the greens?
on beets,
Hmm.
I've not had the greens on beets
Yeah,
because
you
I
can
don't
eat
buy
them just
beets.
like you would the other greens.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
So Michelle's going to be getting one of those vegettis or vegettis. So yeah, I've got one too. They're nice to have. You can buy them like at Walmart or even in Walgreens in the aisle that says "as seen on TV." They usually have them over in somewhere like that. So they're not very.
I think they're really good if you will use that instead of like spaghetti. But we have like all different types. Like we have a black bean spaghetti, and we have like we get lots of different noodle sizes and stuff.
Mhm.
So we don't use it as much. But if you're going to use that only, I think it would definitely be a good investment. And then you
Oh
get to
yeah,
try so many different things.
yeah, I agree. So thank you for that suggestion. We've got Marquita Brown, a new viewer. Oh,
Oh,
welcome. Nice young lady here. Welcome. She wants to know as much as she can before, yeah, learn as much as you can before that happens.
yeah.
And so
I'll
Amy
be
said
talking soon
her
too.
first time here.
Oh,
So,
good.
so good, Amy. Welcome. Now, Blue Sky says she didn't like, used to not like beets, but she likes putting them in her smoothies.
Right. Yeah. I think putting you could get away with putting anything in your smoothie. You when you add things on top, you wouldn't even know it. You could
Mm-hmm.
really add in a lot of nutrition. That's one thing I do for my kids. Like I'd make waffles, but I would just put like peanut butter on them and then
Mm-hmm.
put bananas and then I put hemp seeds on top. And they don't know what hemp seed is or anything, but it doesn't have much of a flavor. And
Mm-hmm.
so they're getting extra, vitamins and minerals and they don't even know it. So I think that's just like the easiest way to get
Yep.
some nutrition in there if you're not big on the healthy meals just yet.
Sneak it in.
Mm-hmm.
So Michelle says, thanks for answering her question. No
Yeah,
problem. And then Amy says, baby beet greens are good in a salad.
right.
Now, both of you guys are talking about the beet greens. I've not tried them, but the next time I go to Kroger's, I'm going to see if I can find them.
Hmm. But what
I
she's
guess you would
talking,
buy them, they would be whole and they would be sticking off of the beets, right?
that's what I was talking about. But she's talking about the baby ones. You can grow them like microgreens. They grow in like 2 weeks. It's
Oh,
just the little beet plant, but you're just taking it just for the little greens, the little sprouts, and
oh,
they're really
okay.
healthy.
That makes sense. All right.
Hmm.
All right. Okay. So, and then Nefertiti is saying she uses that little spaghetti as
Yeah,
well.
I think it's good.
So let me ask you about bedtime. Let's back up and talk
Hmm.
about the littles again for a second. So sometimes bedtimes can be a battle. So how do you handle bedtime at your house?
Well, it definitely is a battle. But I just try to make sure I keep the time and we stick to it. And you just try to wind them down. So I try to an hour before, just maybe have the lights out, and just kind of set the mood, kind of get them sleepy, let them really, play around and tire themselves out. I think that helps. And then I do read them a story and things like
Mhm.
that. But my kids, um, it's a 50-50. When my husband's not here, they run amok. So I can't give a foolproof way. But that's the things that I try to do, and we give them a bath at night because I think that helps calm
Yeah.
them down. Yeah.
Yeah, giving them that bath does help calm them down. And Johnson and Johnson, I think, used to have
Hmm.
this commercial about their lavender baby bath and about the little prince and the lavender smell and how you get rubbed down with the lavender lotion after the lavender bath, and it does just kind of help to ease them out just a little.
Yeah. I
And
do put, just like a body butter. I put it on them, and I started having some roller balls that are like calming, and I would just put it on their feet or like behind their ears, and they think it's so funny. They think it's a game, but it's also helping them to relax too.
okay, all right, okay. So now let's talk about, since you've been at home for a while, let's talk about
Hmm.
being a one income family.
Hmm.
Especially today with prices getting higher, it's just hard to make ends meet when you have
Definitely.
often with two incomes. So let's just talk about what kind of do you have a budget, that kind of thing, for your family?
Yeah, I remember at one point we were looking, we were like, okay, we need more money coming in. And my husband was like, I don't see more money coming in. I said, okay, so then my job now is to bring the price of everything down. And I took that as like a really good opportunity as a way to help him. Um, even though I'm not leaving the house. And
Mhm.
so, the cloth diapering, that's something that shaves off hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands if you have multiple kids. I started sewing clothes or just finding cheap fabrics, doing it that way. And then, making everything from scratch. And doing things from your garden can really help as well too. We do have a budget. We know how much is coming in. We have our set that we pay all the time or whatever. And then we also, I think it's important to put a little bit of spending in for each person so you're not feeling like you're in prison or anything.
Mhm.
Um, and so you feel like you have some freedom, but that's definitely basically as a homemaker, it's like our job to find deals, maybe stock up on things when it's a really low price to kind of cut costs as much as we can. That's why I made like my own laundry detergent. So it kind of can be like a little game of seeing what can I kind of cut.
Okay, I like
Mhm.
that idea. So you said your job then is to figure out ways to cut your costs so that you can make
Maintaining the budget. Yeah.
right. So I like the fact that you think about it that way. And so your garden and the things like that, do you like can and freeze your produce or your
Oh
abundance?
yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that's what I try to do. Mostly just have my own food that I'm putting up. So I even looked at calculators of how much I should have if I have this many plants, and then try to have as many jars as I need. I have goals of how much I want of each thing,
Mhm.
based on how much we use, and I try to, get that much. And yeah, definitely freeze. It depends on what it is. Like for bell peppers, most of the time I just go ahead and freeze them because I like to just throw them in things. And then I'll can like fruits and veggies and things like that, or fruit, not really veggies.
Okay. So I will let everybody know that I did come to your house and I did see your garden. And I sent you a note earlier that I've lost all that footage. I don't know where it is. I cannot, I've been searching for it for the last 3 days. But I just was so inspired by your garden. She's got like a little urban homestead there, right there in the middle of the city. So do you have concerns with like with the chickens or you from your neighbors, anything like that? Because I was so entranced with her chickens. You can tell I'm a city girl because I was like, she's got chickens, and I was watching them run all around and roost. And she let me pick the eggs out of the nest, and I put them in a little basket. I was afraid at first that the chickens would like rush me and be pecking at my hands, but they were running all around on the ground. They weren't paying me a bit of attention.
Yeah, it depends. There's some that are broody, so they'll stick by their eggs. Sometimes it's like with their hormones, they want to defend the eggs or they want to sit on them, even if they're not fertile. But ours are not broody, and so they just hop out the coop. They usually don't like to be in the coop. They like to be around and having fun. But with the chickens, we're able to have 8 chickens per person in the house, so that is quite a bit. Um, but if we get a noise complaint, we'd have to get rid of the rooster that we have. We didn't try to get him, but that just happened because we get him from chicks. But
Mm,
it doesn't seem to really be a problem. They don't make much noise except for the rooster, of course, now makes noise.
hmm
My neighbor actually didn't know he has like allergies to a lot of things, and one of them is chickens. Um, but usually I guess their feathers or whatever are contained. But other than that, no, that the neighbors don't seem to mind. It's actually seeming to pick up. More people are actually having chickens now. Like there's in a subdivision behind us, they have chickens. So yeah, and there's another place that's like 5 minutes or less, and they have chickens running around. You can see them in their front yard. So it's actually becoming a little bit more common.
Our addition, you're not allowed to have chickens. You can only have like cats and
Yeah.
dogs, and you can have like little cage type pets like bunnies or hamsters and that kind of thing, but no chickens. So we've got a family down the street that continues to try to have chickens, and the animal control department has been down there several times to remove the
Mhm.
chickens. And one day my husband said, Denise, come look, come quick. And I came out, and here's the dog catcher, but the guy from animal control, and he's running around with this long net trying to catch these chickens, and there's chickens running all over the front of their yard. It was hilarious. And
Yeah, a lot of HOAs don't allow chickens. We don't live in an HOA. Unfortunately, we're able to have, and we're even able to have, I think, 25 chicks per person. So it's actually pretty lenient. And so we're lucky in that in that instance because they're kind of strict about lots of things. But with the chickens, it's okay. So I'm happy with that.
All right. So what do you do with all the eggs? And like I said, I got to collect the eggs. There were like 5 eggs in the nest, and I picked them out and I put them in this little basket that she kept by the door. And she's got the cutest little apron that has like little pockets in it that you can put the
Yeah.
eggs in.
Yeah. So what we do with the eggs, I do usually make eggs more frequently. Now I'm making a lot more boiled eggs. My husband really loves boiled eggs, but you can also preserve them. And I preserve them in like pickling lime. And
Oh,
so that's something you would want to do because if they may slow down in the winter. So you want to make sure you have a surplus so that you have enough for the whole year. And so I've done that, and it really does come in handy and it helps so that you never have to go and buy eggs if your chickens. They also go through molting, which is where they stop. So you want to always have some extra. But we do also we've sold some as well, just because it's 11 eggs a day is a lot. And we can't keep up. And I also give some to my mom. That's actually what I wanted to do. I wanted enough for our house and her house. And
mhm.
so to have some more than that is really good too.
Okay. So now I was just very interested in the fact that when I collected the eggs, we put them in the basket and we set them in the garage. We didn't have to wash them off or anything. So tell about that.
Yes. So it has a
You guys know I'm
protective.
always washing stuff.
Yeah, they have a protective coating. So if you wash them, then you have to refrigerate them. And a lot of other countries, like in the UK, they don't. They just have them unwashed out, and you would just go and purchase them outside of the cooler. So as long as you don't wash them, they will still be fine. So that's what we opt to do. I usually keep them on my counter now because it is a little bit hotter.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you don't have to, and you really don't have to wash them. The eggs are pretty clean,
Hmm.
but you can wash them before you use them too.
Okay.
I saw a question
Oh,
from Tammy.
I'm sorry. I'm so busy listening about the chickens. Where? Let me find her. Tammy, Tammy, Tammy.
Oh, and I also saw that Michelle said she would have wanted to be a young stay-at-home mom. I think that it can be really difficult when you're young, simply because a lot of people my age are doing other things. They're more like pursuing careers, different things like that. I think it can get especially lonely. Whereas, maybe if they were, because I'm 28, so maybe by 30, 38, it seems more common. Oh, yeah, that's the question. But I think it's really difficult when you're young to give up all of your freedom in that way.
Hmm.
But so she asks, what does broody mean? It's just basically when the chickens, it's like they have their hormones and they really just want to be motherly and they want to just sit on their eggs, whether the eggs are fertilized or not. So they'll just sit on them all day. They won't leave, but to maybe have some water. And it's just to keep the eggs warm. That's what the eggs have to be warm for the chicks to hatch. So when they go broody, it's just they're like hormonal and they're really with their mother instinct.
Okay. Now, the one thing I thought was curious was that you can get eggs without roosters. So just mention
Yeah.
it real quick because I was like,
Oh, yes. Yes, because chickens, they actually will lay an egg every day. Ducks do too. They'll lay their eggs whether or not there's a male, and then they just won't be fertilized. So that's what the eggs that you get in the store. Usually they're just, they're usually in cages, unfortunately, the chickens. So they don't have any contact and they won't ever be fertilized.
okay, all right. And let's see, was that so Michelle had to go to put her little ones to bed. So thank you for joining
Okay.
us.
Yes.
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Rachel used to keep chickens when she lived in Alaska.
Oh, that's interesting in Alaska.
Well, military family, so she was there for that with
When you
that.
when you live in Alaska, you might have to worry about taking your eggs inside so they don't freeze. Because I had that when it was like negative here for a
Hmm.
brief period. The egg actually froze in the coop.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And then Michelle says her husband wants to have some chickens, but she feels like she's got enough to do. I'm with you, Michelle.
Yeah, chickens can be. They can be. It's a lot to have to go out and to maintain them. But we have we call automatic feeder. So we don't have to worry about feeding them every day or giving them water every day, but you still have to go collect the eggs. And so like when it's hot right now, I don't feel like it a lot of times. So yeah, it's definitely extra work, but it's not that much. Sometimes when you have to dedicate to cleaning out the coop or whatever it is, but it's not that much additional work. But it is work.
Hustle Hard Mom just joined us.
Hey, thanks for joining.
And then Amy says her egg lady doesn't use lights in the winter, so her hens stop laying. So yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah, they need the light. The sunlight is what pretty much signals their bodies to lay eggs. My chickens actually didn't stop in the winter. Even like I said, it was negative degrees, and they still went. So yeah.
Okay. And then Nefertiri said she was a young stay-at-home mom, and now she's a mature stay-at-home mom. It's no difference to her, but she did miss the interaction of adults at both ages. So yeah, I get that. Sometimes you just want that adult conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now let me ask you about your laundry routine. What's
Okay.
your laundry routine like? I heard
Uh,
you talk about throwing a load in earlier. So
yeah, it's laundry all day. That's really pretty much what it is. The first set I try to do, um, like our kitchen towels, things like that. That's the first one. Then I'll just do clothes. And I just try to do bedding also in the beginning because it can take longer. So I
mhm.
just try to just mentally do it. And then I stop at a time where I know I won't have the time to. But it's pretty much all day. I usually do like 3 or 4 loads. I always have lots of laundry to do. But I just try to go through it in my head. If I know, okay, it's 7 o'clock, that's probably the last load. And so I just try to do as much as I can every day.
Do you do laundry every day? Or
Yes, laundry every day. I do all of the like the kitchen towels, like the duster, all of that stuff that we reuse. That gets done separate. Kids' clothes are separate. My clothes are separate, and I actually do my undergarments separate, my husband's clothes separate, and so I do the bedding separate. So
Mhm.
it's just a lot of different things that have to be washed. And then if you throw in the curtains or whatever, that just adds to it too.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Um, Now I heard you mention earlier about your laundry detergent.
Yes.
So tell me about that. I heard you say you made some laundry detergent.
Yeah, I guess it's more technically a laundry soap, but it's just pastel soap bar. You can cut it up with a knife or just grate it. Put it into some hot water, just a gallon of hot water to 1 bar, and then I let it cool overnight. And you just can mix it up with like a hand mixer, and you'll
Mhm.
get really bubbly and thicker. And then I just add an additional gallon of water, so it's 2 gallons from 1 bar of pastel soap, and you just adding water. And then you can add essential oils if you want to, but with people that have sensitive skin, I just don't do any of that. But it's just castile soap and water. You can add, sometimes people add in, washing soda and things like
Mhm.
that. I just, stick to it. I just, stick to it as basic as possible just to get the job done.
Okay.
But my husband, though, he uses Tide. He doesn't care about natural products or anything, and he gets really dirty. So you know, he has his own detergent that he
Okay. Um, do you ever hang your clothes out on the line? I don't remember seeing a clothesline at your house.
So I actually have 4, I think it is, of drying racks that I will do inside, and I just will put it underneath a fan. I usually put it in my living room, put the fan on, and just have the racks. So I like to do that for my dresses if I have time.
Mm-hmm.
My kids' clothes, I like to do that as well. And then I used to do that with cloth diapers, but mostly for the covers because those dry really quickly.
Okay. Okay. I
I think there's another question from Rosalind. She said, "Am I rude to ask what
oh
state am I in?" Oh, I'm in Tennessee. That's not rude at all.
yeah. He's in Tennessee. I'm in Indiana.
Yes,
Yeah.
I need to fold my towels, but it'll be tomorrow. I'm done for today. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. I have to put my clothes away after I'm done with my life.
Well,
But
I
it's
try
good.
to put my load away. Like I do one load of laundry every day. And sometimes on Monday I might do 2 loads. But like I swear my husband generates as much laundry as a 2-year old, particularly in the summertime. When he's fishing a couple of times a week, mowing the lawn, all that kind of stuff, then he's hot and sweaty. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots of laundry. So I
Yeah.
do a load a day, sometimes two on Monday, but I'm usually done in 3 days because there's just two of us here. So
Right.
it doesn't
The
take
good thing about dresses and skirts is I really don't have much to fold. I put everything literally on my shoulder. I go in the closet, take one off, and hang it up. So it's easy in that instance.
Yeah, I like having a clothesline too. I
I
do
wish
like
I had. I wish I had one. Much more
now
comfortable.
Hustle Heart mom, and I think her name is Megan. I think I haven't seen her for a while, but she makes her own laundry soap as well, much
Hmm.
more cost effective. I think I had a recipe to make her own. It had Fells naphtha soap,
Hmm.
washing soda, borax, and you juice. I haven't tried it yet, but those were I bought the
I've
things.
seen some. Yeah, I have washing soda. I do have the Fells Nappa, but that's I know that that's supposed to be like you can rub it on as a stain remover. But I've heard someone say that the ingredients weren't that great, so I'm not 100% sure. I just have the bar there. I might use it.
Not tried it yet, but I'm going.
Yeah, it just seems like I can't find a real good stain remover that's really natural.
Vinegar and Dawn dishwashing
Oh
liquid works really well, really, really well.
yeah.
Everybody's got laundry to get out.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, One of the things that I forgot to mention, and so let's go to that real quick, is that you
Mhm.
have your own YouTube channel,
Oh yes.
and I want to share that. So Khadijah has her own channel, and it is called Her Healthy Home. And this is her YouTube channel right here, Her Healthy Home, a channel about a healthy mind, body, and soul. And she does address all of those issues. And one of the things that I want to draw your attention to is, oh wait, that's the wrong one. What uploads is I'm going to go to videos
Oh, okay. Yes.
because it was one of the ones I had seen recently, cloth diapering
Yeah.
101. And it was really, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you can see it. For a minute there, I thought I didn't follow the process, but it was really very interesting to watch you talk about your process with cloth diapers. I use cloth diapers with my youngest one, well, with my babies. And of course, I use like disposable diapers as well. But cloth diapers were certainly a mainstay, and you use them for everything, burp cloths and everything else. But you talk about how you wash them and using your own laundry detergent and washing them twice.
Yes.
Tell me about that, like washing
And
them
with this one,
twice.
you can actually fold it however you want. So for the
It's
first,
funny watching my video.
yes,
But yes, I definitely wash them twice, the insides or the inserts, because they do get really dirty. And so I find that the two washes will really get it clean because I don't do any soaking. But I do spray them off and then I wash them every day. And so they're not sitting, they're not getting, even dirty, or they're not drying out or anything like that. And so
Okay.
instead of soaking it, I just go ahead and wash it twice. And I feel like it works the same. And I just wash the covers once, and I'll wash those on a delicate cycle because you don't want to heat them up too much or anything to make them melt. And
Yeah.
you really don't want to mess up the elastics or anything in the cloth diapers. You want them to last really long. Like I had my two kids in cloth diapers, and I still could go and have another one and have them in cloth diapers. So you want them to last as long as possible.
So, and that's the thing. I remember when I used to use cloth diapers. If you wash the rubber pants and you throw them in the dryer or whatever, the rubber pants would get hard and crackly, and you were always having to replace them because they just didn't last very well, very long. And then, of course, the elastic around the legs sometime wouldn't do very well. So we were just thrilled when they came out with disposable diapers. Pampers was the thing, and then
Right.
of course Pampers and Huggies and all of that. And now so many people use disposable diapers, and they say that the biggest product in the landfills are disposable diapers.
Yeah, because pretty much if your mom, like my mom, used disposables for me, they're around somewhere. It takes 500 years or something like that, and so they haven't been around, that long. Not even 100 years, so they're still around. So I think that it is something good to at least try, and it will lessen your bill, and it's better for your children's skin, especially if you have children that have sensitive skin. Um,
Mhm.
like my son really has sensitive skin. And yeah, so you can do all kinds of things. Like you can line dry it, or you can do it inside. I got a little clothing rack for less $8,
Mm-hmm.
and that will just extend it for years and years. They last a long time, and they're really cute too.
Yeah, the little you call diaper covers today, they are so cute.
Yeah.
Plastic rubber pants were not that cute when our kids were little. And I have some of those drying racks as well that I'll use inside for like t-shirts or maybe undergarments or different things like that. I do
Mhm.
like putting clothes out on the line though. The line, especially with your cloth diapers, the sunshine can
I
help
wish.
keep it.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I had a clothing rack, or a line as well, a
Yeah,
clothing
I
line.
have that. But when the pollen count starts to go up and it gets crazy out, then I don't hang things out because I don't want the pollen
Yeah.
on the clothes. And I remember one day last week I was getting ready to put some clothes out, and my husband says, I had just put some clothes out. He says, I think I have to cut the grass. I said, not right now, you don't. You know, like I just hung my clothes out. You're not going to cut
Right.
the grass and end up with grass spraying all over my clean laundry. But
Right.
I only put out certain things too, though. Like I put out T-shirts, I'll put out his shop towels, and sometimes I'll hang my aprons out, different things like that. But let me hurry up. I realize I'm just chatting away. I've just been so comfortable just chatting, and I'm keeping you too long. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's perfectly fine.
So Megan at Hard Hustle Mom, and I believe it's Megan, says that
Love
laundry for
that.
6 kids and a husband is never ending. Megan, if I'm not correct, aren't you pregnant or did you just have a baby? For some reason, one of my viewers was pregnant or was getting ready to or just had a baby. So was that you? I'm thinking because I thought I haven't seen you for a while. Maybe that's why. Blue Sky said she used to have a clothesline but hated hanging clothes outside because
Oh.
sometimes birds have filled it. I never had that much of a problem, only every now and then. So one pot doc, oh, I like the look of that little saucepan over there. She's new to my channel. Have I been my entire marriage? No. I'm retired now from work. I've been, as far as my career, I'm a nurse and I taught nursing at the in a diploma school, at a community college, and at a university. So I've worked most of my life. But when the kids were little, like when I had the twins and I had my other son, I worked off and on. Sometimes I work full time, sometimes I work part time. And it was kind of nice. Part time was the best of both worlds because you could work 2 or 3 days a week and then be home the rest of the time. So you get some adult conversation, make a little extra money, and it wasn't like having a full time job home and there, away and at home. But as a retiree, I really bring a different mindset to my homemaking because now that I have the time to really focus on my home and focus on my marriage and my husband, I just really feel a lot differently about it. And I'm just trying to share some of that. So there's that. Linda just took clothes off the line. They smell so fresh when you get clothes off the line. Tammy loves it on the line as well. She also remembers those rubber pants. She was afraid they'd melt in the dryer. Hard Hustle Mom, it's Candace. And yes, she just had a baby in May. Hard Hustle Mom.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, she just had a baby in May. I was thinking that. So I've got the name wrong, but I did remember the baby. Okay. So back to your channel.
Mhm.
We talked about your decision to use cloth diapers. Um, so I'm going to go back to your channel for a second because one of the things that I saw on your channel was that you also, where is it? Where is it? Did I close you out? Oh, there it is. Um, where you talked about the use of herbs. And
Uh-huh.
I really liked your videos where you talked about using herbs. And I remember watching you do the video on the herbal tea, this one here,
Uh-huh.
herbal tea strength. And then when I came to visit, you sent some of that home with me. And when I had my sniffles, I drank some of that. And oh, it was just so good. And I really enjoyed it. And so I'm going to order the things for it so that I can make it. but I noticed that you do like to do herbs from a medicinal perspective.
Yeah.
What led you into that?
Um, I think actually first I started caring about what was on my skin. The products I was using, I didn't want to use certain things that were known to cause cancer or anything like that. And then I said, what about what I'm eating? And I just started changing, my life, trying to get much more healthier. So it went from natural products to, better foods or organic food, and then growing my own food too. So it just all kind of went together. And then I learned about herbs and the different things, how good they are for your body. And so I really love tea. I always love tea. So it's that, and just making it into products, all different things you can do with herbs. So and they grow so well in the garden too, and they're
Done.
one of the easiest things to grow.
So one of the things that I saw here when I was looking at your channel earlier was, and I just moved past it, but it was about your recipes from the earth.
Yeah, my ebook, yes. Because that's actually how I started making natural recipes. I People would even just buy it from me, and so that's when I actually started making more products. But then I had stopped, and I thought I should at least share these recipes with people, because people always love them and enjoy them, and teach people how to make some of the things so they don't have to buy it, like the deodorant or chapstick, the body butter, different things like that you use every day, because they're really simple to make. And so I want to make it for beginners who never made anything and just are curious, or people who like to, dibble and dabble.
Yeah. So I just saw it a second ago. Now I can't seem to find it, but
I have so many videos, but it's definitely up. It's scroll up. I think it's probably like on the third line, probably. Keep going up. It's to the left of the T video. Two to the left.
oh, there it is. New book, Recipe from the Earth. Here we
Yes.
go. So here you are talking about your new book, Recipes from the Earth. And since we're talking about that, why don't I go ahead and also talk about your new membership? Like, notice right here, there's a little join button there. And when I click on that, I see that you've got three different tiers that you can um, three different ways to support the channel,
Uh-huh.
and for with through the memberships. And then one of the things that I saw you mention is possibly a getting access to that book. Now let me find that again because
Yeah. Uh-huh. I do. Because the book is $5 as an ebook, and so I figured the people who pay $5 on the membership, they would get the ebook free, and so the physical book is $10, so they would get $5 off of it. So basically, it's like you get some kind of value, so you're not
Mhm.
doing it for nothing. So that's what I really want to do. Have it, because if moms like me that have one income, you really want to have a good reason to support, and so that's what I
Mhm.
want to do.
And I think that's the link to your book. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So there was your book there, Recipes from the Earth. You've got your ebook as well as the hard copy book, that kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure that we had that. And then tell us about your membership.
Yeah, so for the membership, I have it because I make so many different videos, but a lot of I don't want to have everything right away. So I have lots of videos you can watch if you just want to support. So I have that small tier just for support, and then I have the other one where you get the ebook free, and I'll have videos where I'm showing you actually. I'll try to do probably one a month, where I'm showing you, and I'll do it with you, making some of the recipes for my book.
Hmm.
And then I have a third one where some people sometimes they say, I wish you could can with me, or they want to know and ask like, more questions and talk with me. So I have one that I'll just talk with you one on one every month, and we'll do something, we can interact live kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. And now let me stop that and come back over here. And So you guys, there's a way for you to support Khadijah at her healthy home. So be sure and go over and check out her channel, see what she has to offer. Join her family. You will like what she does. As you
Thank
can
you,
see,
Denise.
she does a lot of fun things. And do you have any advice for that young homemaker, maybe a newlywed or newly pregnant, and they're trying to decide whether or not they want to stay home? What are your thoughts? Well, do you have any advice to share with them and their partner as they try to make this decision?
Yeah, I definitely think it's very challenging, but if you're up for the task, because you're not going to have someone like if you work a job or something, you're not going to have a person to make sure that you're accountable. So if you know that you can stay on top of yourself with routines, you know that you can get all the things done and that you're willing to sacrifice, maybe less time, by yourself or more of your goals to serve your family. If that's
Mhm.
something that you want to do, I think it's definitely the right thing to do. But know that it is hard sometimes. It'll get lonely sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, so it's definitely a struggle. And you just have to know that realistically, it isn't going to be sunshine and rainbows. It is lots of hard work.
Yeah.
Um, and you have to be flexible. You got to be adaptable. And so you just got to be realistic if that's where you're at, if you're willing to do that right now and that in your stage of life, because maybe later on it might be better for you. So I guess it just depends on where you are and if you can financially do it too, because sometimes people want to do it, but it might not make sense and it might, be more selfish if your family really needs that extra income. So it's about your situation and just being honest and what you can and cannot give up.
Okay, I like that. I like that completely. And then just a real quick, you got another comment about your beautiful skin, which is
Oh,
what I
thank
see.
you.
And I always think that your skin looks so nice. And she does have a video on her skincare routine, but it's in the special membership piece. So, so give
It's
us the
all of the
411 real quick.
Oh yeah. Well, all of the videos that are in the membership are gonna be put later on, but some videos are actually like a month old or something because it's just I think that people would want a video before another one. So it's just if you're really curious and you want to see all the things as they're happening, and I'm just I'm more candid and get to talk more with people there. But
Yeah.
it's I just natural, simple. That's what I try to do. But my skin is not perfect by any means. But I have oily skin, acne prone skin. Um, but I like to use castile soap or a mixture with some other things like green tea, aloe vera, all things that we're familiar with.
Mhm.
Um, I also like to do face mask a lot with turmeric.
Ladies, I saw her skin in person. It is gorgeous. Well, don't let her fool you. She says it's not perfect. Her skin is beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. You're too
You
kind,
know
but you are gorgeous too. And you look just like how you look online. You really do. Well, thank you. But yeah, I do like to do facial masks. I think that they can really help. And there's just herbs. I really like herbs and essential oils.
okay. Okay.
And just trying to eat healthy. That's what I'm trying to do more now.
Okay. So I got this question from Candace.
Yeah.
And her question is that she's been off balance and having the baby. And one of the things that Fly Lady Cat always says is when you have a baby, everything is out the window. Your time is not your own. So when you have a new baby, what you have to do is first of all just try to do your daily prioritize routines.
Right. Yeah.
Like for me, that would be the daily swish and swipe where you're wiping down the mirror. This wiping out the sink in the bathroom and swishing out the toilet, a load of laundry every day. And if you got a new baby, you might need to do 2 loads of laundry every day and then keep the kitchen and the dishes done, meals on the table. And after that, it's going to be catch as catch can until you get to the
Right.
point where the baby is sleeping for longer periods and then you're able to feel a little bit more rested and
Yeah.
then just kind of start like as you guys know I do the fly lady system, and so start with the basic routines, which is the daily swish and swipe, the laundry every day, the kitchen, making sure the kitchen is clean and put up and everything when you go to bed, because if the kitchen is done, it's like at least coming downstairs in the morning and like, You can
Right.
just get started with your day and not have to clean up before you can start the day. And making sure you're getting plenty of rest, though, too, Karen. And I know rest is an oxymoron when you got a new baby, but just try to get as much rest as you can and do what you can. And then once the baby gets about between 9 and 12 months old, then you can kind of start to stretch out when the baby's napping and start getting your other routine back to order. And then just kind of think like, what do you need to do on a weekly basis? Like for me, Mondays is my weekly home blessing, which includes stripping the beds, doing the sheets and the towels, mopping the main parts of the floors in the various rooms of the house, except my husband does the mopping. I don't. Sweeping and vacuuming in the main areas before he does the mopping, emptying all the little trash cans from all the different little rooms, and then dusting and wiping down the mirrors that are in the various portions of the house. That's on Monday. On Tuesday is free day. So all I do on Tuesday is my weekly, it's my daily swish and swipe and one load of laundry. On Wednesday is what we call planning day. So I pay my bills or he's paying the bills now. So, when we were first married, I didn't know that man could write a check. And now he's paying all the bills. I'm like, really? But anyway, I'm glad that he's doing it. I am not complaining. So, but a Wednesday is bill paying day. I clean out the refrigerator because I have to order my groceries or, make my grocery list. And then Thursday is always trash day. So I got to clean the fridge before trash day anyway. And so I do that. And then Thursday is errand day. So I get my hair done on Thursday. I run to any errands I've got to do. So if I've got to go to the post office to drop off orders, if I've got to pick up a grocery order, then I'll do that on Thursday. Then on Friday is car and purse day where I clean out my car, clean out my purse, but he cleans out the car. He's always done that. I clean out the purse. He won't do that for me, but he will clean out the car. And and then Saturday is family day. Sunday is church, renew your spirit, that kind of thing. For Khadijah, since her day rest day is Saturday, that would be her renew your spirit. And then Sunday she might do some other things. But just kind of think about what do you need to do that has to be done and do that and create a routine so that every day you can try to follow a simple routine with you and that baby, making sure that when you do get up that you do at least get dressed every day. You'll just feel so much better if you can get a shower. And I know sometimes it's hard to get a shower in those first few months, but if you can get in the shower, get your hair done, get yourself dressed, you'll feel so much better. So, and you can feel free to email me too. We can go from there. So Michelle says definitely keeping the kitchen clean trumps making the bed. So if I could only do one, then the kitchen is it. And Michelle, I get that. I get that. That was one of the things though that um I used to not like to go to bed in an unmade bed. I had to have the bed made. But I eventually learned to sleep in an unmade bed because sometimes it just wasn't the priority. So I get it. And Michelle says she can never get all her errands done in one day in a week. I don't have that much running around to do. So I just don't, especially right now during the times of COVID. I've gotten used to being home most of the time. So, I can order groceries in or I can go out and pick them up or I can send him out to pick them up and just put them away when he gets in. Might have to go pick up a medication or something like that. Visit a couple of family members, but I don't go out a lot. So one day is typically good for my errand day, two at the very most. Um, Okay. So let's see. Have I asked you all the questions I wanted to ask you, Khadijah? So let me ask you, ladies and gents that are on, what is your aha moment? What is your takeaway from all of the knowledge that Khadijah dropped on us today? What is your takeaway? How can you use it and apply it in your life situation? I want you to be sure and come back next week. Next week, I'm going to have Edith, my librarian, on. And if people are thinking, well, why would she have a librarian on? Well, she's going to talk about library resources for families. So school is starting. People have preschool children. There's home daycare moms. There's moms with little ones like Khadijah. And there are things that you do at home to either tell stories or work with your kids. And if you think about it, moms were often the first teachers. Way back in the day when schools were not readily available or they were too far away or people couldn't afford them, And there were very few books. There was usually only one or two books in the house, and the parents were the first teachers. So she's going to share with you what resources are available for you to use in your home. Kids' school is starting. If you're doing homeschooling, what resources does the library have available for homeschool parents, preschool parents, home daycare parents, grandparents, people in general? The library is for everyone. And so she's going to talk about how we can take advantage of it. So there's that. Um, So one pot Dot says she's got 3 or 4 grocery store visits that she hasn't put up. That's a lot of groceries you got to put away. I put mine away as soon as I come in, unless I'm doing a grocery haul video. I get them out on the counter, or however I'm going to unload them, get the video done, put the camera away, and I get those groceries put away immediately. Yes, immediately. Candace, you are quite welcome. And like I said, you can feel free to email me as well. So there is that. Khadijah, what else would you like to add?
Um, hmm. What's that? Let's see.
While she's thinking, I want you guys to be sure.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the comment.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Oh no. I'm not sure. I think you answered. I think you talked about most of the things. I don't know if you want to talk about if you missed anything gardening related or
Oh,
anything.
let's see. I did want to ask you about, what made you decide to have a garden,
Oh, yeah, you did answer that.
but you already mentioned that as a way to help augment your food budget. You mentioned
Right.
that.
Yeah. And just to get them to eat healthier, just to eat healthier, organic food, I thought was really important.
Okay. Okay. Um, Be sure and check out my last video, which was a grocery haul, and I think it was a pretty good one. And also, I mentioned a few shortages. I'm going to have to do another prepping video because I've noticed that there are some shortages, and of course, with these sky-high food prices. So be sure and look for that.
Yeah.
And be sure and check out Khadijah's channel. Be sure and check out our sponsor, Apron Diva. And the links are in the description box. And
Yeah, I think I'll say what you just said. I think it's important. Just as homemakers, we always should be vigilant and looking at the next season or what's going to happen. So don't stop. As you said, prepping just because it might look a little bit better where you are. Don't stop prepping and think of some of the medical supplies and stuff and some of the things that went out of stores. It may come a time when those are out again. So always just keep us stockpile of of toilet paper. I think you had some kind of post or something with toilet paper in it. But things like toilet paper, toiletries, all those things, don't take anything for granted. I think it's really important to make sure your family always has what they need.
And that's true, and that's the perspective that I like to use from the prepping perspective, from the perspective of homemakers. And as homemakers, as the lady of the house, as the homemaker, it is our responsibility to make sure that our family has the things they need to survive. Now,
Right.
that doesn't mean that we don't have a partner or someone who assists us, but when I say it's our responsibility, typically we're the ones that's buying the groceries, that's managing the food budget and that kind of thing. So it's up to us to make sure we're getting those food stuffs in, the bottled water, different things like that. And
Yeah.
that we're using whatever resources we get wisely that someone else may bring in, that we're using those resources wisely, and that we're just thinking about, okay, so what medicines and different things like that do I need to have in case there was a true emergency and we can't get out? Just like Mickey Blue Skies, we had this, we've had thunderstorms in this area for the last 3 days, and we expect them for the next 3 days. Now, she had power, but the lady across the street, like her side of the street had power. Across the street, that whole side had no power.
Right.
So what are you going to do? How are you going to feed your family that day? What are some of the things that you need to have in? So be thinking about, well, should there come a situation when we do have a loss of power because of thunderstorms? My husband was running around last night looking for the flashlights because we knew that the thunderstorm was coming, and it came. So, what are the things that you need to do to help yourself prepare, and particularly from a food perspective? So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Khadijah.
Yeah.
I
And
appreciate
if your kids are hungry, they're going to come to you. They don't go to, for me, they come to me. They're not going to go to my husband.
it. Hmm.
He may come to me and ask me certain things. Where is this? Where is that? So you kind of know, it's your job to make sure your family has the things that they need, the things that they look to you for.
Right.
So, yeah,
Exactly. The things that they look to you for. Because we look to our partners for something else. But
right.
there's certain things that they look to from us. And so we need to make sure that those things are available. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, so I'm not sure. Rosin said her daughter sent her. So I don't know if her daughter sent her here to our channel, but thank you for being a part of our family here, for
Yes.
joining in with both of us. And Rosin, I think, joined our channel last week. So thank you, Rosin, for coming. And Leanne says she really needs to dig deeper into making products at home. I kind of want to look into that some. Like, I want to look more into making some herbal teas and stuff like that. But I want to try making my own laundry detergent. So, Leanne, are you going to try making laundry detergent? Or are you just going to think more about being more healthy and organic? I'd just be kind of curious to know
You
that.
know what I think? I think it's important to just know the multiple ways that you can use the things that you already have. When you look at it that way, because baking soda, so many different uses.
Hmm.
Just get familiar with your ingredients. Lemon juice you can use in so many different things. So I think it's just good to have those little skills of knowing different
Yeah,
ways you can use natural ingredients.
I agree. I agree.
Everything that you have is good for more than one thing, other than just cooking. So
Hmm.
it's really interesting to find out those things. I recently found out, and I shouldn't talk about it because I was going to do. It's going to be in a video, but I'm not. But cayenne pepper, you can use it and put it on like a bleeding wound, and it will stop the bleeding.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that.
it's like, yeah, and so it's just a reason to keep. I have, big bottles of cayenne pepper, but now I know that that's something actually really useful. And so when you think about them in that way, that they all can actually help you, or they're all medicinal for something, it's really interesting.
Well, if
Yeah.
you think about it, that way back in, we'll say, the covered wagon days, they didn't just run out to Kroger and pick up a bottle of, of Clorox or a bottle of Tide laundry detergent.
Right.
They had to make their own soaps and different things like
Yeah.
that. So, and then they had to use the different herbs and things like that to help heal, because there weren't always doctors and nurses close by. So the mother in the family typically had to also be responsible for limited healing.
A video I like to see you do is maybe comparing some of the natural detergents or cleaners, natural soaps. Like I had talked to you before in the comments. I don't know if you've heard about it. Soap nuts, the actual nuts that you would put in the washer, and it has like natural, a little bit of suds. And it's good
Oh,
for cleaning. So if you would compare your own detergent, maybe soap nuts or other things, that could be interesting. I'm sure people would love to see that.
oh, I'd love to do that too, because you know how I love laundry. Now, Mickey Blue Skies is like, I don't get it. She says it's laundry.
Right.
But, to me, it's like, um, it's an experiment. It's like, okay, so will this work or will it won't work? Like, what can we do, to do this? Like, I remember when I did the men's work clothes video, I borrowed the men's work clothes from my niece. And so when I brought him home, my husband was like, I don't know how I feel about this. You're washing some other man's work clothes. I'm like, oh, get over it. It ain't that deep. But I was just like this. He says, you're just looking there like, like rubbing your hands with glee to wash laundry.
Right. But that's one thing I think when you become, because we don't get, I'm not going to get a promotion or anything like that. I'm not going to get a pay raise, but little things like that, just knowing, oh, I actually could get that stain out after, 10 times, that
Mhm.
is an accomplishment. And so little things
Yes.
like that, just knowing I got everything done, the house looks really good for 10 minutes, that,
Mhm.
that's a reward in itself.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. I agree. Okay, let's see. So Leanne wants to try making her own laundry soap.
Oh, great. Yes.
Christy is, saying she had a good time. Good night.
Okay. Good night.
Do I recommend any books to learn all of these types of things? You had a couple books you recommended, but I have a couple books. Well, I just
Hmm.
have a couple books on herbs that I happen to have up here
Oh, okay.
called the Homesteader's Herbal Companion. So I used that to, like, when I was planning on growing mine and then using them for different cooking. And this is the Herbal Palette Cookbook. I've had this one for years, and I make different recipes out of it. But now I'm looking at it differently from a tea perspective. And then the homekeeping books that I have is like the Martha Stewart homekeeping book, and then oh shoot, what's the name of that other book? The Homekeeper's Companion. I'll put the links in the description box because they're downstairs in another cabinet. I didn't anticipate talking about those books today, so I'll
Yeah.
have to dig those out so that we can do that. But Khadijah, this was so much fun.
Yes. I was trying to find the book that I would recommend. Can I go look real quick? I think I might have it right here.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead real quick. So, but this was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed just hearing us chat. And it's fun just kind of chatting with another homemaker about different things. We've had lots of people jump on,
ugh,
and
I
Angela said
found
she's
it.
going to try those golden beets. Okay, so what
Hi,
you?
Angela. So this is a book
Ooh,
I'd recommend, the Organic Country Home Handbook.
who's the author?
Natalie Wise. I think this one's a really good one.
Natalie Wise, Wise.
Uh-huh, yes.
Okay.
Hmm. Or any kind of book, similar to that, about teaching about essential oils also is how I kind of started.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Speaking of essential oils, and Michelle is just giving us a really nice compliment. She says she likes my Thursday shows, and I
I
love
do too.
Thursday shows too. They're just so much fun. And guys, I've really been trying to plan ahead and be proactive. So I've got like the next 8 shows already planned out, and then I've got some lots of fun people coming on. So you guys have to make sure you come back and invite your friends to join us as well.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Here's
Michelle,
another question. Oh, I'm sorry.
any ideas for natural ways of dealing with nausea from chemo? Ooh, I would look at crackers, dry crackers, corn flakes, things like that. That's a natural way to deal with nausea. Think about when
Ginger.
you're pregnant or a person who's pregnant, the kind of foods they might eat, things that are dry to absorb the acid.
Hmm. Ginger is also a really good one.
Oh, well, let me just look.
Or ginger tea.
Oh yeah, the
Ginger.
different tea. So thank you for that. I'm going to just look for something real quick on this iPad. Um,
And sometimes mints can help as
yep.
well, like a peppermint.
I know Blue Skies likes to have peppermint when she has any problems with nausea. I can hear your family starting to come back in, so I need to help
Yeah.
wrap this up.
That's why I've muted myself in between.
Oh, okay. So let's see what it says here. Ginger root. So make like a little tea with the ginger root. So there's that. Um, let's see, what else does it say? Chamomile. Oh, I forgot about that. I like chamomile. It's a natural way too. Chamomile just is very soothing for the stomach. And I believe lemon balm is also good for
Yeah,
that.
lemon balms also is in the mint family.
Hmm. So just kind of Google it, Mary. That might be helpful. If you have any kind of, like, if you have any medication that's an anti-nausea agent, if you can take it before you get your chemo, that should help. And then after chemo, of course, go with your more natural methods if you could do that. Oh, your meds aren't working. So Rachel said she used peppermint tea and a little mint candy, those little mint candy rounds when she was pregnant. I got one of those, 2 of those in my purse right now, those little rounds. I'm not pregnant, but I just like mints. but Mary says her meds aren't working. So yeah, meds. Try the ginger tea and the chamomile tea. See if those are helpful. But of course, like dry cornflakes, Triscuits can also be helpful. But Triscuits sometimes they got a little bit of salt on them, so you might need a salt-free Triscuit. And I think it's because it's got all that like the shredded wheat kind of stuff in it that's more absorbent. So that could be helpful. Um, and then Candace says diffusing peppermint essential oils also helps with nausea as well. So if you're diffusing it, so you're putting it into the air and just kind of inhaling that, so that might be helpful. So I'm sorry I don't have better ideas. I'm so used to reaching for a medication to take care of those things. But listen, we better let Khadijah go. I'm just chatting away. Khadijah, girl, I'll be talking to you for the next hour. So I am so sorry. Tell your husband I'm
I'm
so
sorry to hear
sorry.
that, Mary, and I hope that those things do help you too.
Yes.
But I think ginger probably will really help.
Yeah, that ginger tea. And you can buy ginger tea already made, or you can just make your own. So thank you, ladies, for joining us tonight. Um,
Okay.
Shelley said Finnegan was helpful, but again, that's a prescription, but it is a good anti-nausea medicine. It is an old one, but you can try that. So thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. Khadijah,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
everybody.
much. This has been great.
I
I
had so much fun. Thank you for inviting me. I look forward to seeing next week your talk with the librarian. I think they show off a lot of information that's
Oh
interesting
yeah.
too.
Yeah. So anyway, good night, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.